Alright, so now that we've gotten through learning a little bit about Mudbox and did our donut assignment to get familiar with the tools, now's a good time to actually step it up a little bit and start to see how we can do something a little bit more advanced like a character. So in this first set, we're going to start with a basic head. And we're going to convert it and turn this head mesh into an actual character. So the first thing you want to do is gather your reference material. So your reference material is probably the most important so that you can get exactly what you need, not miss details, know what the silhouette shape of it is. So in an ideal situation, you want to have some different references. In a perfect situation, you have a front and a side view, maybe even a back view. It really depends on what you're trying to actually sculpt, right? So, but in a perfect situation, you'd have multiple orthographic views of the character or the object. So if you'll notice, he's centered in all these pictures. We can see where his chin is, his mouth, his nose, and that correlates with the side view. We can line those up, and if we were to pull this into Photoshop and and just set it up, we'd see that the height and width and depth, where the eyes are relative to the top of the head, to the mouth, to the nose, to the chin, lines up with the front view. We also, you might have just a few images that are different angles or different treatments of a character or whatever the object. Sometimes you only have a front or a three-quarter view or something like that. So you work with what you have. But the ideal situation is to have something like this that you might line up in Photoshop, where if we took a line here, a line through the eyes, under the nose, through the mouth and the chin, that it would line up with the side view proportionately. And that would help us immensely and make life a whole lot easier when we start to sculpt. Now, if you have the ability, there's a program called PureRef. And let me just show you how that works. So you'd install this. It's actually free. And PureRef for pure reference. And this is what you get, this little box here. There's nothing to see here. Drop some images. So what I would do is I would go grab my reference images, and I can grab multiple ones at a time, and then I pull them into here. And if we expand this out, I can use my mouse scroller to zoom in and out, and you see it brought in all of them. So I can zoom in and out. I can use my middle mouse button to pan up, down, left, right, and focus on things. And what makes this really awesome is a few things. Number one, as I'm working on a project, I can save this PureRef as its own thing. And then when I go back to work on it tomorrow, whatever, I just pull it back up. The other really cool thing about this is that usually when I'm using a browser or an image viewer and I'm trying to look at an image, and I'm saying, oh, I want to look at this while I sculpt, and as soon as you click on the program, it hides it because this now moves to the front. And you notice PureRef is staying there. And that's because if you go to right-click, Mode, Always on Top, then it will do just that and stay always on top, which is really nice. I can scale it down, I can move it, I can right mouse click and move it around here. And then as I move in my program and do stuff, it's going to stay right there. So whatever images you're using for reference when you're modeling, you're sculpting, doing whatever, this is a really good way of having it as a floating external thing, reference, like a little desk of images of concept art and stuff that you're working off of so that you can actually sculpt. What we're going to go over is, if we are fortunate enough to have a front view and a side view, how to bring that in to Mudbox and use it as image planes so that we can capture the silhouette of this character really fast before we start sculpting details. And that'll be the next video.